I feel it so myself, Sadao said gently. It would be best if he could be quietly killed, the general said. Now, the general, he was irritated because the white man had been washed up on Sadao's doorstep. And even Sadao felt the same. So now the general was suggesting that the American should be quietly killed, not by you, but by someone who does not know him. So quickly he says that not by you, because now the doctor had operated upon him and it would be difficult for him to kill him. So he said, not by you, but by someone else who does not know him. I have my own private assassins. Now, assassins are hired killers, people who take killing others as a job. They take money to kill others. Suppose I send two of them to your house tonight, or better, any night. You need not know nothing about it. You need know nothing about it. It is now warm. What would be more natural than that you should leave the outer partition of the white man's room open to the garden while he sleeps? So he says that now the weather is quite warm, so you can leave the door, the partition of the white man's room open, and either tonight or any other night, so that even Sadao might not know which night the assassins are going to come and kill him. Certainly, it would be very natural, Sadao agreed. In fact, it is so left open every night. In fact, the door or the partition of the white man's room was left open every night. Good, the general said, yawning. They are very capable assassins. They are very capable. They are very good at their jobs. They make no noise and they know the trick of inward bleeding. They do their work very quietly and they know how to kill the person so that he does not bleed externally. There is less mess. There won't be blood all around. So they kill the person in such a way that he bleeds inwardly. He gets internal bleeding. If you like, I can even have them remove the body. So he can even tell them to remove the body. So Sadao will have nothing to do with it. Sadao considered that perhaps would be best. Excellency, he agreed, thinking of Hana. He thought about Hana. Hana was, as it is, very stressed, and if suddenly the man disappears altogether, it would be very good for her also. He left the general's presence then and went home. Thinking over the plan, he left the general's palace and went home. In this way, the whole thing would be taken out of his hands. He would tell Hana nothing. So she need not know what plan they were making and how and where the American disappeared. Since she would be timid at the idea of assassins in the house, obviously even she will be timid at the idea of assassins in the house. She would not want assassins in her house and doing all this, killing the person, and yet certainly such persons were essential in an absolute state such as Japan was. And he was also considering that the general knew private assassins, so he thinks that maybe at his position, the general's position, he might be having opponents, enemies, because of which he would need the help of these private assassins at times. How else could rulers deal with those who opposed them? So probably these people in power had opponents and who could be eliminated or could be killed by such assassins. He refused to allow anything but reason to be the atmosphere of his mind as he went into the room where the American was in bed. So now he only tried to be rational. He did not want to get emotional or think anything, whether it was right or wrong, get into the moral about it. So he only wanted to be rational. He wanted to remove the stress of Hana also, and so this was the best possible solution according to him right now. But as he opened the door, to his surprise, he found the young man out of bed. Now he was no more in the bed. He had gained strength and preparing to go into the garden. Now he was planning to go to the garden. He was already out of his bed. "What is this?" he exclaimed. "Who gave you permission to leave your room?" "I'm not used to waiting for permission," Tom said gaily. Now the doctor said that, "Who gave you permission to leave your bed and go out?" To this, the American replied that, "I am not in the habit of asking for permission." Very happily he said this, very gaily. "Gosh, I feel pretty good again." He was so happy that he was feeling good again. "But will the muscles on this side always feel stiff?" Now, where the bullet had been taken out, there the doctor must have put some stitches, because of which there was stiffness. The muscle over there was stiff, it was not relaxed. "Is it so?" Sadao inquired, surprised. He forgot all else. Right now he was a little angry at him for getting up and without permission trying to go out in the garden. But when the American pointed out some pain, some problem where he had been operated, the doctor immediately forgot everything and he started looking at his wound and was concerned about it. He forgot all else. Now I thought I had provided against that. Now he had provided against that. That means while operating, he had taken that into consideration that there will be stiffness. So he had operated in such a way that there shouldn't be that, he murmured. He lifted the edge of the man's shirt and gazed at the healing scar. Now everything was forgotten, his anger, everything was forgotten, and he lifted up his shirt and started looking at the scar, at the wound which was healing now. "Massage may do it," he said, "if exercise does not." Now he says that if while you move, while you do some exercise, if that doesn't help, probably if you massage there, it will help. "It won't bother me much," the young man said. His young face was gaunt under the stubbly blonde beard. His face was gaunt. His face was gaunt under the stubbly blonde beard. His beard was there. Stiff beard was growing. "Say, doctor, I've got something I want to say to you. If I hadn't met a Jap like you, well, I wouldn't be alive today. I know that." So he wanted to say this for quite some time, but the doctor had told him not to talk to him. So right now he says, "I want to tell you something," and he comes out with it and he says that if I hadn't met a Jap like you, a Japanese like you, I wouldn't be alive today. Sadao bowed, but he could not speak. Why he could not speak? Because he was planning to get this man killed with the help of the general. "Sure, I know that," Tom went on warmly. His big, thin hands gripping a chair were white at the knuckles. "I guess if all the Japs were like you, there wouldn't have been a war." Now he gripped, that is, he caught hold of he was catching a chair and he must be holding it quite tightly. That is why at the knuckles he was totally white. "I guess if all Japs were like you, there wouldn't have been a war. If everyone had been like you, there wouldn't have been a war only